trusted news source, ABC6 News at Noon.
All right, now at noon, we begin with some breaking news. Dighton Rehoboth Regional High School on lockdown. Right now, an inside source telling ABC6 News a threat written on the walls inside a boys' bathroom is what triggered this lockdown. There is very little information being released right now. We did reach out to police. We are waiting to hear back. This is, of course, a developing story, so be sure to download our ABC6 News app, and that way we can send you breaking news updates straight to your cell phone. And new at noon today, a New Bedford woman charged with murder in the death of a 62-year-old man. Chelsea Pimentel expected to be arraigned today on several charges. Police were doing a wellness check at her home on North 6th Street Monday afternoon when they found that victim, identified as Kevin Stoughton. Police say he was living there with Pimentel at the time. The exact cause of his death has still not been released. We will have much more on this story for you starting on ABC6 News first at 4. Also in court today, a man arrested for shooting a man dead inside a Providence cafe. 34-year-old Juan Rivera is charged with murder in connection with the deadly shooting at Roke's Cafe on Broad Street in September. He pleaded not guilty and is being held without bail. 38-year-old Jorge Isaac Garcia of Providence died in the shooting. Police said he was eating breakfast at the cafe. And at the State House today, Rhode Island lawmakers set to take up a number of gun-related bills. One of those bills would allow store owners to use deadly force to protect themselves during a crime. Another bill would raise the legal gun buying age from 18 to 21. Hearings on those bills get underway in about an hour at 1 o'clock. We turn to our schools now, and parents in Barrington will get the chance to voice their concerns about the proposed changes to the honors curriculum at the high school. That meeting set to happen tonight after it was previously rescheduled. ABC6 News reporter Laura Puglisi is live in the newsroom with more on what to expect tonight. Laura?
Doreen, we have a new date and a new location. The Barrington School Committee had planned to meet last week, but that was postponed until today after the high school principal tested positive for COVID. There is a lot of interest in tonight's meeting. It'll now be held in the high school auditorium to allow for more space and seating. Parents can voice their concerns over the proposed changes to the high school honors curriculum, which eliminated the honors options for English and social studies, creating one level of class for all students. Now, advanced placement courses will still be offered to juniors and seniors. Parents learned about those changes back in March in an email from Barrington High School Principal Joseph Hurley. Honors classes were already not offered this year for English and social studies, but students had the option to earn an honors distinction. Under the new plan, that will no longer be offered. We have reached out to the school superintendent, the high school principal, and school committee members for comment ahead of the meeting, but we haven't heard back yet. The meeting will start tonight at 6:30, and of course, we'll keep you updated. Live in the newsroom, I'm Laura Puglisi, ABC6 News.
Laura, thank you. And meanwhile, in Providence, public schools, they are now considering removing the mandatory masking policy. Parents and students have a chance to take a survey that's now available online, offering their opinion on masks in schools. The superintendent says cases are declining and vaccine rates are increasing. We're told any change would likely happen in early April. And in North Kingstown, the school committee will discuss its search for a new superintendent and assistant superintendent. Superintendent Dr. Phil Auger and Assistant Superintendent Denise Mancieri resigned last month in the wake of the investigation into ex-basketball coach Aaron Thomas and his alleged naked fat checks on students. The school committee special meeting starts at 6 o'clock tonight. And now to an ABC6 News follow-up. The MBTA resuming service on the Orange Line today after a Boston parking garage collapsed over the weekend, killing a construction worker. Today, the subway service between North Station and Back Bay was temporarily shut down so it could be inspected after part of the Government Center parking garage collapsed. 51-year-old Peter Mancini of Easton was killed in that accident. The avian bird flu has made its way to Massachusetts. Dighton Animal Control putting out a warning, reminding residents of what they can do to prevent spreading the virus, including being mindful of accidental exposure of the bird flu to their flock through contaminated shoes, clothing, or even equipment. For more information on the bird flu or who to call if you find a dead bird, just head to our website. That's abc6.com. We're going to check the forecast now as we look live outside with our Skycam HD, and bit by bit, ever so slightly, we are warming up outside. Chelsea is in the Weather Center with our first forecast. Hi, Chelsea.
Hey, Doreen. Yeah, it is certainly slow going. Really, over the course of each and every day this week, we're getting a little bit better temperature-wise. Outside right now, We're in the mid 40s, about 10 degrees warmer than where we were yesterday at this time, and certainly warmer than where we were Monday at this time. We're sitting at 44 degrees in the Providence area. It's been a really bright morning, but clouds are starting to roll in, and there is still a bit of a breeze from the northwest, making us feel more like the upper 30s. Most of us in that low to mid 40s range. Again, still way below average for this time of year. That being said, again, just a little bit warmer than where we were yesterday at this time. Most of us in the 5 to 10 degree warmer range, and we'll continue to see these slightly warmer conditions building over the course of the coming days. Right now, for areas farthest to the east, things are still very clear, but you can see clouds on our doorstep. There's snow moving through New York and eastern Pennsylvania right now. That all kind of dries up by the time it gets here. That's a warm front that's approaching the area. So what we are looking at is a lot of clouds around for the remainder of the afternoon and into the evening hours. Temperatures hovering close to 50 degrees today, much more seasonable out there. Tonight stays relatively mild, and tomorrow we're 10 degrees warmer than where we're at right now. I'll have much more in your full forecast in just a few minutes. Doreen?
All right, Chelsea, thank you. Now to the crisis in Ukraine. Air raid sirens heard throughout Ukraine with several missiles shot down over Kyiv overnight. This coming despite Russia saying that it would drastically reduce its combat operations to help foster peace. ABC's Eka Jachi reports.
Today in Ukraine, unrelenting and indiscriminate violence on display caused by Russian forces. Overnight, air raid sirens ringing out all over Ukraine. Chernihiv and the Khmelnytskyi regions were shelled. New explosions heard in the suburbs of Kyiv, this coming after Russia pledged to drastically scale back military operations in parts of Ukraine, including the capital. ABC's James Longman is there.
We've heard the repeated sound of artillery slamming into Kyiv's suburbs. Remember, Russia has specifically not agreed to a ceasefire, so there's every chance they'll continue to bombard Ukraine, even if they move troops around the country.
The Pentagon is confirming it's seeing a small number of Russian troops moving away from Kyiv, but says they're not withdrawing.
Their intention is to reposition forces and bolster their efforts elsewhere.
After Tuesday's peace talks in Turkey, Ukrainian President Zelensky said any peace deal must include security guarantees from the U.S. and Western countries, including providing weapons to Ukraine and enforcing a no-fly zone. The U.S. seemed open to support.
If there is some kind of outcome, and if our support for Ukraine can be part of that outcome, including our support in the future for its defense and security, of course, that's something we'll want to pursue.
In the port city of Mariupol, new satellite images reveal the extent of the devastation. Most neighborhoods reduced to rubble. Ukraine Emergency Services releasing this video showing 67 firefighters battling a blaze at an oil depot in the Rivne region this morning. A U.S. official tells ABC News that Putin is being misinformed by his advisors on the war in Ukraine and on the performance of his military, because his advisors are too afraid to tell him the truth. Eka Jachi, ABC News, Washington.
And still to come here on ABC6 News at noon, some big news from Capitol Hill. The major Republican now backing Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson. Plus, some good news if you're looking for work. The U.S. adding hundreds of thousands of jobs in March, why the number is better than economists predicted. And why Will Smith might not be off the hook just yet for slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. You're watching you're watching ABC6 News at noon. We'll be right back. In political news this afternoon, some big news from Capitol Hill. A Republican is backing Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson. Senator Susan Collins of Maine is the first Republican to announce plans to support President Joe Biden's pick for the High Court. Democrats hold the majority, so there is little question of Jackson's confirmation, but Collins' support means it'll be bipartisan. The Judiciary Committee is expected to vote on the nomination on April 4th. And President Biden is expected to send an urgent direct message to Congress today to get funding for the administration's COVID response. Biden will warn that the nation's progress in fighting the pandemic is at severe risk if Congress fails to act. Congress has been stuck in a months-long stalemate over new funding to fight the pandemic. The White House has said there is not enough money right now for a number of key COVID mitigation steps. And there is a new website from the White House with COVID-19 information. It's the covid.gov site with data on vaccines, tests, treatments, and masks. It's available in English, Spanish, and simplified Chinese. Some good news for people out there looking for a place to pick up a paycheck. There are plenty of jobs available. Employers in the U.S. added 455,000 private sector jobs in March, according to the ADP employment report that's out today. That is a little higher than analysts expected, but still lower than February's report. Leisure and hospitality had the biggest boost with 161,000 positions. Still to come here at noon, a NASA astronaut back on Earth after a record-setting 355 days in space. How Russia's invasion of Ukraine almost impacted his ability to get home. And Tiger at Augusta National, why some think the golf legend will be playing in the Masters next month. Now to NASA astronaut Mark Vande Hei. He touched down this morning after a record-breaking 355 days in space. He landed aboard a Russian aircraft, a return trip rattled by Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
After a record 355 days in space,
touchdown.
Mark Vande Hei and two Russian cosmonauts carried out of Russia's Soyuz spaceship Wednesday morning, moments after landing on Earth.
The weather is beautiful. Everything went nominal. No injuries. Nobody was hurt.
Vande Hei giving a thumbs up while being medically evaluated. The crew detached overnight from the International Space Station, sharing a hug before their trip home.
The Soyuz MS-19 begins the journey home to complete a year-long odyssey for Mark Vande Hei.
Even with tension between America and Russia over the war in Ukraine, one of the Russian cosmonauts saying this.
People have problem on Earth, on orbit. We are one crew.
For weeks, the head of the Russian space agency, Dmitry Rogozin, posted on social media threatening to leave Vandehei on the space station in response to American sanctions on Russia, making this spoof video showing the Russian cosmonauts waving goodbye to Vandehei. Another video showed technicians covering up the U.S. and Japanese flags on a rocket.
It's a very childish thing to be doing when you're responsible for people's lives in space, to be producing videos of leaving people behind and threatening to drop a space station. I think he has more important things to be doing, but he clearly doesn't.
Many now questioning the future of Russia's relationship with America in space, one long seen as peaceful and necessary.
Vandehei and the NASA team will head back to the U.S. today, landing in Houston tonight, where he'll be able to see and hug his family for the first time in nearly a year. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
And now, your ABC6 Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Chelsea Priest.
You know, Jeff and I were just texting a little while ago about how right now we're 4 degrees warmer than where we were for a high temperature yesterday. And I said it's like that train story. I think I can. We're very slowly but surely starting to warm up a little bit. And right now, we're looking at some sunshine outside to head into our early afternoon hours. Certainly seeing more and more clouds rolling in. But temperatures today are just a little bit warmer than where we were yesterday. And we're going to continue to see this warming trend in the coming days. Tomorrow and Friday have highs above average, and it looks like we're going to stay at least around average as we head into the weekend. Temperatures right now for pretty much all of us in that low to mid 40s range again. Average high should be in the low 50s. Now we have sunshine. We have that breeze that's still with us right now, but eventually the wind starts to shift. There's a warm front that's approaching, and we should hover in the upper 40s. So we will be more seasonable outside today than certainly where we started the week when we had a high temperature on Monday of only 34 degrees. And yesterday we topped out at 40 degrees. So right now, 10 degrees warmer in Providence compared to your lunch break yesterday. Most of us in that 9-10 degree range of higher temperatures compared to yesterday at this time. There is still the breeze, and right now it is still coming in from the northwest, about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Not quite as windy as the past couple of days. Still a few gusts around, especially into eastern Mass, around 20 miles per hour. Certainly makes us feel a bit cooler, but even the wind chills are warmer than where they were yesterday afternoon. Most of us feeling like the mid to upper 30s out there. And again, we're going to gain another few degrees as we head into the afternoon, topping out right around 50 degrees this afternoon, which is ever so slightly just shy of where we should be for this time of year. Now again, Thursday and Friday look mild. We should make it into the low 60s outside. It's going to come with more clouds and eventually some steady rain coming through the area, especially overnight Thursday into Friday. From there, while we do cool down a bit into the weekend, we're sticking with seasonable temperatures for our first weekend in April, and we should stay in that 50s range for the first part of next week. Satellite radar image right now. This is actually a loop over the past 6 hours. Dry conditions, still seeing sunshine, but the clouds are thickening up. A little bit of a wider view shows you this line of some snow and mixed precipitation just off to our west. Now the air over us in Rhode Island and especially southeastern Mass, very dry right now. And as this front gets closer and that light precipitation gets closer, it dries up and falls apart. So what we end up with us seeing here in southern New England, clouds increasing through the remainder of the afternoon, a mostly cloudy night ahead of us, and a mostly cloudy start to the day tomorrow with temperatures in the upper 30s. Little drizzle, maybe some fog outside during the daytime tomorrow, a lot of clouds around. But again, 60s, so there's that. And then as we head through tomorrow night, a cold front approaches. You can see a line of some heavier rain just off to our west. We're going to be watching for that as we head through late tomorrow night and into early Friday morning. Behind the cold front, we do gradually start to dry out. There's still a few little sprinkles around on Friday. It's still mild on Friday. And again, we cool down into the weekend, but the temperatures are still staying seasonable. So around 50 today with increasing clouds. We head through tonight. You're looking at mostly cloudy conditions. We stay a bit warmer, mid to upper 30s expected. And then tomorrow, low 60s. It's an overcast day. Few spotty showers around. The better chance of rain develops later in the afternoon, overnight, and into Friday morning. From there, we're sunny on Saturday with temps staying seasonable. Doreen?
All right, Chelsea, thank you. Well, could Tiger Woods be playing in the Masters? There is a lot of buzz around the golf legend after he was seen playing a practice round at Augusta National. Woods is a 15-time major champion, but he hasn't taken part in a tournament since he suffered serious leg injuries in that 2021 car crash in Los Angeles. The Masters starts April 7th. Still to come here at noon, Chris Rock in Boston this week. Why seeing one of his shows will now cost you a very pretty penny. And it was the slap seen around the world, but is Will Smith now being punished for it? Those details when we come back. In entertainment news today, the Foo Fighters are canceling all upcoming tour dates following the death of drummer Taylor Hawkins, and that includes the planned headlining performance at Boston Calling set for this May. The Foo Fighters said they are disappointed but need time to grieve and heal. Hawkins was just 50 years old. His cause of death remains under investigation. You'll need to reach a little deeper into your wallet if you want to see one of Chris Rock's shows in Boston this week. Ticket sales have skyrocketed ever since Rock was slapped by Will Smith at the Oscars Sunday for a joke directed at Smith's wife. TickPick tweeted that it sold more tickets to Rock's shows Monday morning than it did in the past month combined. Rock is in Boston already. Those shows start tonight. The cheapest ticket left on StubHub is $720. Meantime, Will Smith might not be off the hook for slapping Chris Rock. The Academy's Board of Governors holding an emergency meeting today to discuss possible punishments for Smith. Top officials saying they are upset and outraged over the onstage assault, but they warn this must follow an official process, and that will take a few weeks. Experts say it's unlikely that they would revoke his Best Actor award. Coming up, makeup that smells like your coffee and donuts. The newest collab that might just have quite the following here in New England. Plus, Chelsea has another look at your afternoon forecast right after this. Well, finally, this afternoon, for all you Dunkin' lovers out there, e.l.f. Cosmetics is launching a makeup collection inspired by Dunkin's products. Check it out, the packaging. Some of it even looks like a box of donuts. There's Dunkin' Dozen scented eyeshadow palette, glazed for days lip glosses, and coffee scented lip scrub. Prices range from $6 to $16. You can get it at Ulta starting on Sunday.
I like the scent.
Right?
Scented makeup.
I think that's kind of fun.
It's really cool.
I mean, why not?
Right?
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's going to be very popular, like you said, around here.
If it's caffeinated too, though, that would really be the big selling feature for me.
Boost.
For Good Morning Providence.
Little extra boost. Nobody's going to be upset with that.
Right, exactly.
We'll have to check on that one, though. We are looking at temperatures today, topping out in the upper 40s to about 50 degrees. Tomorrow, 60s. We're looking at some heavy rain, especially overnight into Friday morning.
Hi, Chelsea. Thank you. And thank you for joining us for the news at noon. The news continues first at 4. Have a great day, everybody.